Yes, guys, Ryjack back for another video. Today, we're looking at the Aston Villa away preview for Manchester City. Of course, it is tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for me, 3 p.m. for you over in the UK. It is at Villa Park, and Pep has said it himself. It is one of the most difficult grounds to go get points at in the Premier League. And I would agree. I know Aston Villa have not had a great start to the season, but lately they've actually been picking up some points and are on a decent run. So before we do start, I would appreciate anybody who's new to the channel, hit the sub, hit a like, comment on the video, let me know your thoughts. We're on the road to 500 subs. We're like 40 away. So very much appreciate all of that. My socials as well are in my channel description if you want to see any of that stuff. So let's take a look at this preview here, boys. Aston Villa away at Villa Park. We got Michael Oliver refereeing the game. 42,000 expected. Cold, wet, maybe. Birmingham day. It is what it is. If you look at the head-to-head, Villa are a bit of, I don't want to say a bogey side, especially when you look at this, 21 wins to 5 wins in recent history. But it's been quite a few seasons since we've actually won both games against them. Last year, we won one, lost one. Same story year before that. Again, year before that, won one, drew one. And you have to go back to 2021, 2022, when we actually beat them both times. Of course, this is the Ilkay Gundogan title-winning game right here. But since that season, we haven't beaten them both twice in a season. So I do think that's notable. Personally, if you look at the table, City are on a fantastic run of fixtures. I think we're 8 unbeaten now, up to second in the league, 16 points, 11 on goal difference, right there with Arsenal, as well as Liverpool, of course. But Villa really started poorly this year. They hadn't scored a goal in the first 4 games or something like that. But lately, if you look at the fixtures, they've got 3 wins on the bounce. In the Premier League, a 3-1, a 2-1, and a 2-1. So, they're not scoring a lot, but 8 goals conceded is pretty low, I would say. Only 2 more conceded than City so far. Anyway, I think it's going to be a pretty difficult game. I think Villa are a side on the up, and they're a side that should be competing for Europe basically every year. So it definitely is not one to take lightly. And unfortunately, there's not many games where you can take teams lightly in the Premier League. The Premier League is so deep and talented that it just is what it is. There are quality players basically everywhere. And if you look at the Villa lineup, it is it's pretty much what you would expect, the predicted lineup here. Back line is solid as always. Madsen, Torres, Konsa, Cash, Emi Martinez. Maybe Matty Cash is somebody that Doku can get at potentially. I'm not sure. Amadou Onana in the midfield with Kamara and Rogers. John McGinn, Gassand, and Watkins are there as well. The only player missing is Yuri Tielemans, who is a very talented player and would be a big miss for them. But, I mean, this midfield 3 is still pretty impressive for Villa. Morgan Rogers is another, do we sign him in summer 2026, bring him back to the Etihad? I don't know. Maybe he is a very talented player, of course. But I would expect very expensive to bring back to the Etihad. Watkins, of course, is not having a great season, but is still a danger man, and I would expect him to improve. If you look at their goal tally, their stats so far, Watkins only on 1 goal, Rogers on a goal and 2 assists. So, not super notable for these numbers. And then if you look at the City numbers, Haaland is the only one with more than 1 goal in the Premier League, and that stat's been thrown around a whole lot. He's on 11. Nobody else is on more than 1. Ideally, that does change and fix up soon, and we get some more goal contributions from either the wingers or the midfield. Maybe we get a goal on a corner for once this season. I don't know. But I do want to take a look here at my predicted lineup because it's a difficult one. I'm not sure if Nico Gonzalez is going to play or not. He is potentially unavailable for the game. There was no clear indication on what we were going to do. So I'm going to operate under the assumption Nico G is out. We know Kusanov is out. We know Roger is out. That midfield becomes a sticking point for me. Do we pack the midfield? I don't know what you do in the midfield, to be honest. Maybe Kovacic gets some run there. It's going to be difficult because I, I, I'm nervous a bit when we don't have a holding midfielder, when it's not Rodri, when it's not Nico G, because Nico G's been doing extremely well since coming into the side. And I think people are really liking the Nico G performances, but if he misses this game, how confident are people? How nervous are people? And I would say my nerves go up a bit if there is no Nico Gonzalez, for sure. Maybe what you do is you start John Stones and you move him up into midfield. That I think is probably what I'm going to predict here. I'm going to go Gavardiol as the left back, even though I know Nico O'Reilly's been fantastic. Maybe he's a midfield option for this game. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It's just extremely difficult not knowing what we're going to do without those midfielder options. John Stones, I think, probably does start this game. And then the right back is almost certainly going to be Mateus Nunes, who's been basically, aside from that Brighton game where he had the penalty error, has been really good this season. Pep even had some comments about his ability as a right back and how he has potential to be an outstanding right back. I don't know if Mateus Nunes himself likes the idea of being a right back, but for the moment, that's where he's being able to get on the field and play, and he's doing a pretty good job. So I would expect this back three to kind of remain solid, where John Stones then can get forward in the midfield. We see some running back of the treble tactics, kind of. The midfield is honestly so difficult for me. I do think you probably see a Kovacic start. Probably. There's a Rico Lewis potentially an option there. There's Bernardo Silva as an option there. Nico O'Reilly could play. I don't think that is the case. I think what you're going to see is Foden there, Reinders here, probably. Do you want Ryan Cherky to get some minutes as well? I would think you do, but again, I don't know how we're going to operate under these injury circumstances. I think it's going to be something like this, probably. Which I know looks strange, but I just think this is what we're probably going to get. Over on the left, you got Doku, you have Omar Marmoush, you have Savinho. What do you do there? Beats me, to be honest with you. Doku's been pretty poor the last maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. Maybe you give Omar Marmoush a run, and I'm all for that. I think Omar Marmoush is better than Jeremy Doku, so I would go with Marmoush. And then on the right, do you go Bernardo, who can also add to that midfield, and then it's almost like a 4-4-2 situation? I mean, I don't know what you exactly do there, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be Savinho because he did have a really good game last one out. So this is what I'm going to predict that we see. And it's a little bit different in and out of possession, of course, but I think this potentially is a lineup that we see. I don't know what you guys think of that, but John Stones moving into the midfield to assist this midfield, knowing Villa's midfield is as dominant as it is. I just think that's probably what you have to do. The Reinders, Kovacic, Stones trio is decently physical. I mean, Kovacic is maybe a bit more of a ball carrier and less physical than Reinders and Stones would be. And then Foden just has to start because of his creative ability and what he can do on the ball in terms of creating goals and scoring goals. He just has to play. Holland obviously plays. Marmoush brings a goal-scoring threat that maybe Doku doesn't have. And then Savinho on the right, Bob on the right, Bernardo on the right. I mean, whatever you want to do there, it is what it is. I just assume Savinho will play because he played so well during the week. So that is my lineup for the moment, at least. And I don't know about a score prediction, but I do feel pretty confident. I'm going with a 2-1 City win. 2-1. Holland gets a goal. Marmoush gets a goal. And Donnarumma's clean sheet streak, unfortunately, stops. Villa surely get one goal in this game, but I do think City will win. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the lineup. Do you have your own idea? How confident are you for the game? Of course, let me know on your way out. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. 500 subs is right around the corner, and I do appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow.